keep that out, and then we'll see what happens. Then you got the Browns. So this was fascinating because I was told Kevin Stefanski's plan for his 4 quarterbacks in OTAs and minicamp was to try to get a lot of different guys, different touches in different situations, and they all really answered the bell, including Sanders, who showed the ability to put the ball in some tight windows. He threw with aggressiveness, took some chances, so they like where he sits. Now Stefanski has to formulate a plan in training camp that's probably a little more crystallized, maybe has a little bit of a depth chart to it. They are not there yet, but Sanders has made an impression, there's no doubt.
Really fun time of the year when it comes down to the NFL. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Jeremy Fowler.
Found himself practicing with a crew of backups while the team's other passers, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, have received first-team reps. Sanders, though, said he's unbothered by his practice reps and instead looking to take advantage of every opportunity he gets. Shedeur?
This is a mindset, this is an adjustment. You got to go and understand the situation that you're in and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. You could view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there. So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. You know, like they care about. You got to be able to produce.
He's so right. Nobody does care. He said all the right things. Stephen A., Shedeur taking fewer reps, do you think that's a bad sign?
No, not at all. It's too early for all of that. He just arrived. He's a rookie. And by the way, while you're looking at him, you also want to see what Dillon Gabriel will bring to the table, along with others. Kenny Pickett is on this squad. He's relatively young, even though I don't think that he's the face of the franchise for the future, okay? Of course, Joe Flacco is an experienced veteran. You got him there as a security blanket. You should have had him there last year, okay? But when I look at Shedeur Sanders, I mean, when you consider what he did, his career completion percentage is the best in the FBS, more than 71% for his career. He completed 74% of his passes last year, despite being sacked about 42 times, okay? 90 plus times over the 2 years that he was at Colorado. The brother can play, but what you drafted in the fifth round, 144th overall. We all know how bogus that was. We know that there's more to it than just his football skill. But him being there, you want to test a lot of things about Shedeur Sanders. And most of it, of course, his skill set is one thing because you want to make sure he can play on this level, but his temperament, his willingness to him, not ability, because we know he has the ability, but his willingness to handle adversity. His willingness, you want to see if you're the Browns, how he's going to react to not being with the first team, all right, not being QB1 and taking a step back. You want to see how he's going to react while they're taking a look at Dillon Gabriel. You want to see what his temperament is like and what have you because of all the things that have been said about him. So I don't have a problem with it at all. I thought he gave perfect answers yesterday, but more importantly, Cleveland testing him this way doesn't bother me either because what you're trying to do is cement what you believe you already know about his character, not just his play. And I think that it's good for a young person in his position to be put through those tests because ultimately you're going to be tested. So why not start from scratch and try to test him now?
I think what the Browns did, I'll let Lewis handle the quarterback, who's good and who isn't. I think what the Browns did here in this offseason is superb. They knew they didn't love the quarterbacks. I mean, outside, obviously, who was the first pick. They didn't get Cam Ward. They knew from a standpoint of what was left, they were not going to get the quarterback of the future. They probably didn't think Sanders was on that level. Obviously, they didn't. Most teams didn't seem to. You know, Dillon Gabriel was a reach. Okay, we'll see what he does. Sanders is a reach, but they trade Hunter. They get Jacksonville's #1. They got the #1 for next year. So they got a lot of chips for the lottery. And there's 6 or 7 quarterbacks next year who could be first-round picks. The kid from Arizona State's going to be a very good quarterback. The kid from Penn State's got a chance to be a very good quarterback. Lewis can give you the other 4 or 5, but there's a lot of quarterbacks who are going to come out next year who they will now have an opportunity to draft because they got a lot of #1 picks. Throw in the idea that they take a chance this year. They don't punt on the season, but Sanders will get his chance. Gabriel will get his chance. They're not the quarterback of the future on the team. Maybe they get lucky and Sanders turns out to be great and don't have to worry about it. But if he doesn't, or if somebody else doesn't, they got a lot of quarterbacks for picks for next year where they can take another run at it with a better opportunity to get the guy that they want. I love what the Browns did there, Lewis, as far as the draft is concerned. Stockpiling picks for a draft in the following year that seems to be strong on a QB position? Give me your thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, they've set themselves up pretty well, I believe, in the present, in the short term, and they also have a safety net, and they have a lot of options in the long term with the number of draft picks that they have coming next year, namely the pick that they're going to get from Jacksonville, and it's probably going to be a high pick. So yeah, Cleveland's sitting in a good spot, theoretically. As it relates to Shedeur, look, I agree with Stephen A. I agree that they are trying to test him right now, whether that is purposefully or, secondarily, they are testing him right now. They're testing his resilience. They're testing his stick-to-itiveness. They're testing his ability to be intrinsically motivated to continue to stay in the book when I can tell you this, you're sitting over there during mini camps and OTAs right now. You're seeing a guy who was drafted 2 rounds ahead of you take reps with the ones when you're sitting there going, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than Dillon Gabriel, and I'm not getting the reps. They're going to be watching you. Scouts are watching you. The GM's watching you. Owners are watching you. They're seeing your body language. They're seeing how you are when you go in the huddle and you do get a couple reps. They're seeing how you execute, how you get on with the rest of the teammates, how you walk into the locker room, whether you're the guy who's first into your weightlifting session, whether you're a guy who's early into treatment, are you in the film room watching extra tape. They're evaluating all that right now when he's not the man. He's not being treated as the man. No one cares about what you did at Colorado anymore. They're testing him. And he's taking the perfect approach. He's taking the perfect approach. He's saying, look, I got to maximize every single thing that I do here. The great Tom Brady used to talk about it the same way when he went to New England as a 5th round pick. I had to maximize everything. And when he does, that earns you more reps. Because in the end, I'll tell you this, as a pure quarterback, of everyone who they have on their roster right now, I do believe that Shedeur is the best player. But he's not going to be able to show that right away. And what Cleveland is saying is, are you willing to play the long game with us and bide your time? Are you still willing to do the right things? And if they do it organically, if they do it fairly, he'll win the job eventually at some point in time. I really do believe that. But there's a lot of things he's going to have to navigate first.
No question. Because the reality is that his skill set, again, I'm going to remind everybody, he was projected to be the 2nd quarterback taken in the draft. That's the bottom line. And to go from that to if he had dropped to late in the 1st round because another quarterback was picked ahead of him or, a 2nd round pick, that would be different. But when you drop all the way to the 5th round, the 144th pick overall, doggy, that's not about football. That's about something else. When you got a guy with his talent that showed what he could do, particularly with his poise under pressure and what have you, and being sacked so many times and all. The brother can play.
Stephen A., very important remarks. I got to hit the top of the hour, though. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Coming up, will we see more?
The Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets, which might be a little easier stretch. As for Shedeur, this is what he said yesterday about his approach to minicamp.
This is a mindset, this is adjustment. You got to go and understand the situation that you're in and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. You could view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there? So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. Everybody cares about production. So that's the main thing. When you get out there, you got to be able to produce.
Okay. So let's do this, Mike T. I'm putting it in Waze or Google Maps. You can plan a drive. So take me through the route. Shedeur Sanders, from where he is to being the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. What are the directions?
We're parallel tracking, so you should have Waze and Maps up at the same
either one. I got them both.
Okay. Stack one good day on top of the next, and then get in preseason games, play really well, and then after those first 4 games, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, what I'm thinking about is we got to win games today, but we got to develop for tomorrow. This is a guy that legitimately could be a frontline starting quarterback by October 1st, get through the really difficult schedule we're looking at, and then let him go. But he has to earn the trust and credibility of his teammates. They can't just indiscriminately throw him out there because he's Shedeur Sanders. I think he'll earn it because he has enough ability, and I would do that by October 1st, Greeny.
October 1st, but if we look at history, over the last 40 years, the only quarterback drafted in the 4th round or later who wound up starting his team's opener was Dak Prescott in Dallas in 2016. So every quarterback who's ever been picked in the 4th round or later has been unable to win his team's starting quarterback job on opening day. And the overwhelming chances are that Dillon Gabriel, the Browns' 4th round pick, and Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' 5th round pick, will not be starting on opening day, and it will be either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett. That the rookies will need some sort of break, the team losing games, an injury to a veteran, before they somehow get an opportunity. And it's important to note that the Browns are set up that if it doesn't go well this year, they have their 1st round draft pick, and they have the Jacksonville Jaguars' 1st round draft pick. In a quarterback-rich draft in 2026, the Browns already have 2 ones.
Look, the Browns are easy to kick around. We all do it all the time, Louis. But I think specifically with regards to the quarterback situation, it's a pretty good little setup. You got a couple of veterans.